Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and felt this gnawing emptiness? Like something is missing, but you can't quite put your finger on it? That's not just a bad day. It's your life whispering, shouting even for your attention. You feel lost, not because the world has failed you, but because you've been living in a fog of uncertainty, letting fear and doubt dictate your path. You've been following routines that don't light a fire in your soul, chasing approval that leaves you empty, comparing yourself to everyone else while forgetting the unique gift you bring to this world. But here's the truth. The reason you feel lost is not because you're broken. It's because you haven't yet claimed your power to choose, to align with your values, to step boldly into the life that was meant for you. And right here, right now, you have the chance to break free from the confusion, to reclaim clarity, and to finally start moving with purpose and unstoppable momentum. Life often feels like an endless maze when you lack clarity about your purpose and direction. Imagine driving a car with no map, no destination, no GPS. Every turn feels uncertain, every stop seems arbitrary, and frustration builds with every mile. That is exactly what it feels like when you move through life without understanding why you're here or what you truly want to achieve. Clarity is not just a luxury, it is the compass that guides your decisions, the lens that helps you see opportunities instead of obstacles, and the fuel that ignites your motivation. Without it, even the most ambitious plans can feel hollow, and even small successes can seem meaningless because they don't align with a deeper, guiding purpose. Many people spend years drifting through education, careers, relationships, and social expectations without pausing to ask themselves fundamental questions. What do I value most? What kind of impact do I want to make? What kind of life would make me wake up excited instead of drained? The answers to these questions are not found on someone else's timetable or in society's checklist. They are discovered through reflection, experimentation, and an honest assessment of your own desires. Often, the feeling of being lost comes from confusing activity with progress. You may be busy checking off tasks, achieving small wins, yet still feel a hollow ache inside. That's because movement without clarity is like rowing a boat in a storm without a rudder. Effort is wasted, energy dissipates, and frustration mounts. When you gain clarity, something remarkable happens. You start to filter decisions through a purpose-driven lens. Choices that once seemed overwhelming become obvious because you know what aligns with your path and what doesn't. Clarity also breeds confidence. When you know where you're headed, uncertainty loses its power to paralyze you. It allows you to focus on meaningful action rather than scattered busyness. But gaining this clarity requires courage and commitment. It means sitting in quiet moments, asking uncomfortable questions, and being willing to step away from routines or expectations that no longer serve your path. It requires separating your voice from the noise of social comparison and external pressure and tuning into the quiet inner guidance that often gets drowned out. The more clearly you understand your purpose and direction, the more your energy, creativity, and motivation align, transforming daily life from a series of random events into a coherent journey. And as this clarity grows, you'll begin to recognize patterns, opportunities, and possibilities that were invisible before. Suddenly, even challenges start to make sense because they are stepping stones along a path that you can now see. Comparing yourself to others is one of the most subtle yet destructive forces that can make you feel lost in life. From a young age, we are conditioned to measure success through external benchmarks, grades, promotions, possessions, social status, without ever asking what truly matters to us individually. When you constantly look at what others are doing, achieving, or becoming, you begin to evaluate your worth not by your own values or progress, but by someone else's standard. Social media amplifies this effect, presenting carefully curated snapshots of other people's lives while masking the struggles, failures, and sacrifices behind their successes. This creates a distorted reality, one in which you are inevitably left feeling inadequate, unaccomplished, or behind. The problem is not ambition itself, but the constant external comparison that steals your attention from your own journey. When you focus on someone else's path, you lose sight of the one that was uniquely designed for you. Every individual has a different combination of talents, timing, circumstances, and goals, and trying to match someone else's journey is not only impossible, but exhausting. This constant comparison fosters frustration, envy, and self-criticism, which drain energy and clarity. It keeps you chasing validation from outside rather than cultivating confidence and fulfillment from within. The moment you begin to realize that every life is incomparable and that your journey cannot be measured by another's milestones is the moment liberation begins. Shifting focus from others to yourself allows you to celebrate small wins, recognize personal growth, and take meaningful steps aligned with your values. It encourages curiosity and experimentation instead of judgment and self-reproach. And it opens the door for creativity, innovation, and authentic self-expression. Breaking free from comparison requires conscious effort, daily award, Ines, and the practice of gratitude for your own experiences and achievements. It means understanding that what works for someone else may not work for you, and what excites them may not ignite your passion. It means defining success on your own terms and consistently asking, what am I striving for and why does it matter to me? Once you embrace this perspective, the pressure to conform or compete dissipates, and you begin to feel grounded in your own path. The focus shifts from a fleeting external approval to enduring internal satisfaction, and you can start taking decisive, intentional steps that reflect your true purpose and potential. In doing so, you create a life built not on comparison, but on clarity, alignment, and authenticity, and the sense of being lost gradually transforms into a sense of direction and empowerment. A deep sense of emptiness often arises when there is a disconnect between who you are and what you truly value, when your daily life moves in directions that conflict with your passions, beliefs, and innate desires. Many people go through life following routines, obligations, or expectations set by others, thinking that success or happiness is defined by money, recognition, or status, without ever pausing to examine what resonates with their authentic selves. This misalignment creates a subtle but persistent dissatisfaction, a feeling that no matter what you achieve or acquire, it never truly fulfills you. When your actions, decisions, and environment are not in harmony with your core values, life feels fragmented and directionless. You may experience moments of joy or accomplishment, but they feel fleeting because they are not rooted in the essence of who you are. The danger lies in mistaking busyness or external achievement for fulfillment. You can be productive, efficient, and even admired, yet internally feel empty because your efforts are disconnected from your true purpose. Discovering alignment begins with self-awareness, taking the time to identify what truly matters to you, what energizes you, and what drains you. It requires honesty, courage, and reflection, as well as the willingness to question long-held beliefs or societal pressures that may have shaped your choices without your conscious consent. When you reconnect with your values and passions, every choice becomes clearer. You start to gravitate naturally toward experiences, work, and relationships that support and reflect your authentic self. This alignment acts as a compass, guiding you toward opportunities that are meaningful rather than superficial, toward growth that feels fulfilling rather than forced, and toward relationships that nurture rather than deplete your energy. Living in alignment also fosters resilience, because when your actions reflect your values, setbacks and challenges become easier to navigate. You are no longer adrift in circumstances that feel imposed upon you, but anchored in a personal framework that sustains your energy and confidence. Moreover, alignment sparks creativity and passion, because when your inner world and external actions resonate, you operate from a state of flow, where productivity, joy, and impact intersect naturally. Conversely, ignoring this connection prolongs feelings of confusion and emptiness, keeping you in a cycle of frustration, longing, or searching for satisfaction in places that cannot provide it. The journey to alignment is ongoing, requiring regular introspection, adjustments, and courage to step away from what no longer serves your purpose. And as you cultivate this harmony, life begins to feel lighter, more coherent, and infused with meaning, transforming routine existence into an intentional, inspired path where every action carries a sense of significance and fulfillment. True transformation begins when you take full responsibility for your life, for your choices, and for the outcomes you experience, rather than blaming circumstances, other people, or fate. Many people drift through life believing that external forces control their happiness, success, or failures, waiting for the right moment, or for conditions to be perfect before they act. This mindset creates a sense of helplessness and reinforces the feeling of being lost because it places your power outside of yourself. The reality is that your life is shaped by the decisions you make every single day, by the habits you cultivate, and by the way you respond to challenges. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for past mistakes or beating yourself up for perceived failures. It means acknowledging your role in creating your current reality and recognizing that you have the capacity to influence your future. When you step into this mindset, something shifts profoundly, fear loses its grip, excuses lose their power, and clarity emerges. Responsibility empowers you because it transfers control back to you. It makes you the driver rather than a passenger in your own journey. Alongside responsibility comes accountability, the willingness to follow through on commitments to yourself, to push past comfort zones, and to take consistent action even when it feels challenging. Without this, intentions remain abstract ideas, dreams remain distant, and the sense of being lost persists. Embracing responsibility also requires honesty, the courage to face uncomfortable truths about your behavior, habits, and mindset, and the commitment to make changes where needed. It encourages self-reflection and continuous growth, because when you own your outcomes, you are naturally motivated to learn, adapt, and improve. Furthermore, taking responsibility fosters resilience. Life will always present obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected changes. But when you recognize that you have the power to respond rather than react, you transform challenges into opportunities. You begin to see failures not as indictments of your worth, but as feedback, as data points that guide your next move. This mindset ignites action and empowers you to create momentum. Every small decision to take ownership, to act deliberately, and to align choices with your values compounds over time, building a life that reflects your intentions rather than circumstance. By consistently practicing this principle, you gradually replace the feeling of being lost with a profound sense of agency, clarity, and purpose. You come to understand that while you cannot control every event or situation, you can always control how you respond, the energy you bring, and the direction you choose to pursue. And in embracing this truth, the path forward becomes defined, intentional, and charged with possibility.